Welcome. This is Email Blast with Dynamic Mail Merge PDF attachments. Email Blast software. I provide the ManagePDF.bas VBA module in the Mail Merge folder of the digital material. The module contains a user form and the software for generating PDF files from a mail merge template and optionally emailing the generated PDF files. Important: you must save the mail merge document and then load the data source before invoking this software. The software uses the file path for the document and it processes the mail merge data source. The generated PDF attachments are saved in the same folder as the document. This is the user form. User form mail merge parameters. The user form specifies the parameters for saving the generated PDF files and whether to send one or more emails with the PDF files attached to the email. The email destinations, subject line, plain text email body, and additional user attachment files all support field substitution. Select the Outlook account from the drop-down pick list for sending the default email as the reply address. The Save and Join radio buttons on the user form affect how the PDF files are named when there is more than one data record in the mail merge data source. The software supports sending one PDF file per email or multiple PDF files per email. You can generate and email all PDF files for the current mail merge template. You can group one or more PDF files per email depending on a data filter value in the mail merge data source. The software automatically performs emailing by Microsoft Outlook. The matching data filter groups the files. For example, if there is a mail merge field named Best Buyer Email, then you can pick that name from a list on the user form. The PDF attachments are separated by differing values of the selected mail merge data field value and split into separate email messages for that specific value. Splitting PDF attachments across multiple emails requires selecting the Split checkbox on the user form. If you are splitting the PDF files, then you can substitute data field values in the email To field, CC field, BCC field, subject line, and the plain text message body. For example, if there is a mail merge field named Best Buyer Email, then you can substitute the value of that mail merge data field into, say, the To field for sending the email to that destination for the PDF attachment generated from that corresponding mail merge data record. In the To data line on the user form, specify &field, open bracket, Best Buyer Email, close bracket, without a space before the angle bracket. The software will replace the field reference with the value of the specified data field and then send the email. You generate a PDF from the mail merge template and then email blast it to distinct buyers as an attachment. Portfolio controls on spreadsheet, mail merge data source. On most of the automated spreadsheets that I provide in my courses, there are portfolio controls for saving the current state of your analysis in the spreadsheet, and then you can generate mail merge data from that information. The Portfolio Controls panel on the corresponding spreadsheet for the Mail Merge template has a Build button for generating the ordinary Mail Merge data source, and a special Join button for combining or joining the portfolio data records with the data records of the specified other data records. The default value is the best buyers for the other data records. You can change the input cell by clicking the cell and selecting an eligible set of data records from the drop-down pick list. The Save button saves the generated Mail Merge data source as a tab-delimited plain text file, and then you can import that text file into the Microsoft Word Dynamic Mail Merge template. Then running the user form generates the PDF files and optionally emails the PDF files as attachments. For example, if you had 2 portfolio data records and 3 best buyer data records, then the join operation will build a Mail Merge data source with 6 data records, as each data record in one table is replicated and joined with all of the data records of the other table. Then save the Portfolio Mail Merge plain text file and import that file into your Word Mail Merge document. Email parameters. Data field references. When you run the user form, use the key field drop-down list to select the best buyer email field name and specify the email to field destination to send only the PDF files that are customized for that target recipient. You can insert a data field reference by clicking the Field button on any of the text box inputs to display a list of all data fields in the Mail Merge data source. Click on the fields you want, then click Done to append the data field references to the end of the corresponding text input field. You can use the usual copy, hold Control and press C, or cut, hold Control and press X, and paste, hold Control and press V operations to edit the text in the text box. The email message text box supports multiple input lines by holding Control and pressing Enter. Static or dynamic attachment files. You can also add static or dynamic attachment files to a list. The files are added to each generated email. Add the static attachment files by clicking the Pick Files button. Add the dynamic attachment files with the User Attach text box and substitution expressions, then clicking the Add button to add the substitution expression to the attachments list. The substitution expressions are evaluated as each data record is processed for emailing. Substitutions. The substitutions also support path for the full file path without the trailing separator character, name for the base file name without the trailing dot suffix, sep for the path separator character, the current date as 8 digits, the current time as 6 digits, the current time as 4 digits, the current date in the 4-digit year, 2-digit month, 2-digit day format, the current time in the hour, minute, second format. Remove commas for removing commas. The remove commas substitution is intended for the click-to-mail.com service that prohibits commas in the email subject line when specifying a postal mailing address. The substitution replaces a comma followed by a blank with a single blank, and then any other commas are replaced with a blank. Wrap the postal mailing address inside the angle brackets and place the expression in the subject line text box. You can use the ampersand field substitution anywhere within the text to dynamically generate the target postal mailing address from the mail merge data record fields. Substitutions, click2mail.com. For example, the subject line on the user form for a click-to-mail letter may look like this. Notice the highlighted area in yellow shows a comma. The remove commas substitution is embedding several field references. Now suppose the data fields contain these values: best buyer name, best buyer company, best buyer street, best buyer city, state, zip. Notice there's a comma in the data field value. When processed for emailing, the text for the subject line is substituted thus. Notice the yellow highlighting where the commas have been replaced. Then send the email to the click2mail.com service in the To field on the user form, which prints the envelope and the attached PDF file with the subject line as the postal mailing address, stuffs the envelope, and then delivers the letter to the USPS post office. Your prepaid account is charged for this service. Your prepaid account for the click2mail.com service is associated to the default email address in the selected Outlook account, which is used as the reply address in the generated email. The Outlook account is selected on the user form from a drop-down pick list. You may want to create a separate Outlook account for your click2mail.com service requests. Macros. There are 4 public VBA macros in the module for the user interface: Save All SPDF, Join All SPDF, Save All and Mail SPDF, and Join All and Mail SPDF. The Save macros simply save the multiple data records as sequentially numbered PDF files. The Join macros process the data records as coming from a join operation by building a unique suffix based on the 2 tables of data records. If the join macros cannot detect that the data source was built from a join operation, then it merely saves the PDF files with sequential suffixes, just like the save macros. The macros without mail in their name run silently to generate the PDF files and save the files in the current directory of the saved mail merge document. The macros with mail in their name will present the user form to the user for performing the same processing as the other 2 macros to save the PDF files, and then invoke Microsoft Outlook to email the PDF files as attachments. There are radio buttons on the user form to override which mode you want, save or join. There are checkboxes to select whether to send the emails after generating the PDF files, and whether to generate split emails for grouping or sending individual PDF files. If you uncheck the split checkbox, then one email is sent with all generated PDF attachments. If you select the split checkbox, then one email is sent per generated PDF attachment. You can also include a key field specification to group multiple PDF attachments that all have the same value of the specified key field. One email will be sent with the PDF attachments that have the matching value for the specified key field. This is most often used with an email data field for sending the PDF attachments that match the specified key field to that email address. Selecting the split checkbox is recommended for the click-to-mail service to send one email for each PDF attachment. The service will print, stuff, and mail one postal letter per email. You can customize the mailing menu on the Word ribbon to add those 4 macros to the mailing menu in a new custom group. Then you can run the macros by clicking the button on the menu. User form installation. To install the user form, open Microsoft Word to a blank document. Open the Visual Basic Editor either by holding the Alt key and pressing the F11 key, or by opening the editor through the Developer Menu tab on the Word menu ribbon. You may need to customize your Word menu ribbon to enable the Developer Menu tab. Open the Normal project and then right-click on the project name Normal. On the pop-up requester, select Import File, then navigate to the VBA folder containing the user form files. Import managepdf.base module file. Import mailall as pdf.forms file. Import mailall as pdf dataFieldSelect.forms file. The Visual Basic Editor will put the imported files into the proper subfolders. On the Visual Basic Editor menu ribbon, go to the Tools menu tab and select References. You want the references to look something like this. On the pop-up requester, select the checkboxes for Microsoft Word 16.0 Object Library, Microsoft Office 16.0 Object Library, Microsoft Outlook 16.0 Object Library, Microsoft Forms 2.0 Object Library. Click OK. On the Visual Basic Editor menu ribbon, go to the Debug menu tab and select Compile Normal. Close the Visual Basic Editor. No need to save the document. Right-click in a vacant area on the Word menu ribbon and then select Customize Ribbon. This pop-up requester will appear. The arrows show the important parts of this requester. In the pop-up requester, create a custom group under the Mailings tab and rename it to Manage PDF. Then select it. Under the Choose Commands From drop-down pick list, upper left side of the requester, select Macros and then select Save All and Mail as PDF and click the Add button. Select Join All and Mail as PDF and click the Add button. Select Save All as PDF and click the Add button. Select Join All as PDF and click the Add button. Now select and rename each macro to remove the prefix and insert a blank between each word in the macro name. During the rename operation of each macro, you can select an icon from the pick list to associate with the macro. Click OK. Close the Word blank document without saving. The user form and the ribbon customization are already saved in your Normal.dot template. So the Mailings ribbon should look something like this, with these user macros added. This has been Email Blast with Dynamic Mail Merge PDF Attachments. My name is Jeffrey Smith, and thank you for your support.